According to Mirror Sports in the UK, James Degale has now turned his sights to Chris Eubank Jr. To fight next after he dropped his IBF super middleweight title in fear of facing Joe Utagi. We back. It's the Boxing Clinic of More. Y'all know what it is. One time for the one time. And this is a rumor. And like I told you guys earlier this week, it was reports going out that Billy Joe Saunders and James Degale both was pricing themselves out for a clash. And it had been rumored for a while that Billy Joe Saunders was trying to move up and face James Degale for the IBF title. But the IBF had an interim title, and the interim titleist was Andre Dirrell for a while. And we know what happened with the first fight with him and Utagi. Now that Utagi beat Andre Dirrell and basically beat him into a retirement, he was an interim champion, and they was forcing, James Degale to fight him, and they was not going to give him an exception to fight Billy Joe Saunders. And the train of thought was, in my opinion, was if Billy Joe Saunders was able to beat James Degale, then if Triple G won the loss versus Canelo, as long as it wasn't brutal, that Triple G was going to face Billy Joe Saunders at super middleweight, and they was going to fight for that title. And I thought that the winner was going to then unify with Callum Smith and George Groves winner, which sounds like that fight is going down in Saudi Arabia, not in the UK, for the World Boxing Super Series, Muhammad Ali super middleweight championship. Which would be a good fight. And by the way, I picked Callum Smith to win the whole thing. But I'm not sure about my pick. Now I like Groves a lot. He's been one of my favorite fighters for a while. But yeah, now Degale has turned his sights. He's 32 years old to Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. has recently been seen in the Mayweather boxing gym in Vegas training with Floyd Sr. And I think he definitely needs that. But the way that James Degale has been looking, this might not be a bad move for Chris Eubank Jr. And it's been said that Chris Eubank Jr. was going to be the alternate if Groves or Smith got hurt, which Groves is coming off a shoulder surgery after facing the reckless and the wild mongoose style of Chris Eubank Jr. in a fight. So it's been a good chance that he could have stepped in. And it was also rumor going around they was going to plug in Chris Eubank Jr. In to replace George Groves if they wasn't gonna wait for his shoulder to heal in time. But obviously they want to make him an alternate, so I don't know if he's gonna give up his alternate spot in the tournament to face James Degale. But domestically, it makes a lot of money. It makes a lot of sense. James Degale and Chris Eubanks and the Eubankses in general, they was talking junk about James Degale, talking about how he should have ended the tournament no matter his shoulder injury. He should have been in the tournament and been amongst the best. But, Degale had a shoulder surgery that said it had been bothering him since the Lucian Bute fight, And, he had the shoulder surgery, and obviously Caleb Truex went over there and dog walked him and got a decision. And he came back and beat Caleb Truex. I had Truex winning by 1 point. I just looked at my scorecard the other day when I was going live. And, but like I said, I believe that this fight makes more money for James Degale than the Utagi fight. I'm not trying to justify him ducking or say it's an acceptable ducking. I know we got the installment called Acceptable Duckers, but no. At the end of the day, if he wanted to give his belt up, and everybody know James Degale was not what he used to be. He wasn't 100%. It said that he liked to party hard like David Hay, and now some of that partying is coming back to haunt him. Because when you abuse your body, you drink and party, you ain't sleeping and training and living a clean fighter's lifestyle, in your early days, in your early 20s and mid-20s and a little bit in your late 20s, you can get away with it. But by the time you get closer to 30 and get into your early 30s, like he's 32, that shit catches up with you, you know what I'm saying? And it starts to deteriorate your body. You can't recover like you used to. And, it is what it is. But, this is a winnable fight for Chris Eubanks. Let me get into that part. A very winnable fight. This dude didn't even look good versus Caleb Truex, and Caleb Truex was seen as an average U.S. fighter. Even when he was at a middleweight, this was a middleweight, just like you. He didn't have, all your athletic ability, but with Eubanks, he needs to just get away from his daddy and let Floyd just try to, hone his skills and harness that energy and harness that athletic ability. And if he fights a patient fight like he did versus Uterman and fights behind his jab and don't get too reckless and then let all that energy go out when you got him when you got him hurt and go for the kill, I think Eubanks could get James Degale, man. James Degale ain't looking like nothing. Even in Caleb Truex, he struggled with a guy like Caleb Truex that doesn't have half the talent that Eubanks has. But Truex has discipline. Truex got patience. He got experience, some that Chris Eubanks don't got. So it's the balance of the yin and the yang. Could Degale beat Eubanks? He could, but how physical Chris Eubanks fights and how reckless he fights sometimes, it might give James Degale another injury, you know. But I think this is a high demand fight in the UK. Like I said, it's a bad blood fight, and it's a fight that they said a winner is going to fight the same time as Callum Smith and George Groves. Maybe they could squeeze this on the undercard or something, but they're supposed to fight around the same time, so the winner of this fight can fight the Callum Smith and George Grove winner, which I would definitely like. You know, I would definitely like to see the Super WA champion fight one of these guys. It'd be better if Degale was able to beat Utaki or keep that belt and fight Eubanks, and then the winner would unify, you know, with George Groves and Callum Smith, but it won't go down that way. And like I said, this is Chunky last stance, man. Chunky Degale, this is last stance right here. And he going against a guy that's physical. That's really, I mean, Caleb Truex kind of tested your shoulder the first two fights, but this guy's going to test your shoulder. Remember, this guy damn near ripped George Groves' shoulder off, being reckless, being stupid in the ring, and just, you know, just trying to, you know, just power through George Groves. You know what I'm saying? So Degale better really be in shape. His shoulder better be strong. And I know he didn't want to fight Utaki, and Utaki probably would have just knocked his block off. You know what I'm saying? But James Degale, you know, he better watch out for how reckless Chris Eubanks Jr. is in the ring, man. You know, and this guy got potential, man. If he able to keep Floyd Sr. in his corner, in his daddy out his corner, and he could just listen to him, it's gonna be a dangerous fight. Now, you know, who would I side with? I would just, you know, honestly, man, Chris Eubanks Jr. left a really, really bad taste in my mouth. I thought after the Arthur Abraham fight and the Uterman fight, I thought he was making progress as being a patient fighter and just harnessing his skill and learning to place his speed and place his power. And I thought I seen a growth as a boxer from him. I know he didn't have a lot of an amateur background, but I thought I seen improvement from him in those two fights. And all that improvement went out the window when he fought George Groves. He believed that the sparring wars they had, and, you know, the rumors of him saying he dog walked George Groves in sparring, he thought that was going to translate into a real fight. And that's amateur thinking. His daddy know better than that. You know what I'm saying? Eubank Sr. You know, he know better than that. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, if he be patient, he could beat Degale. You know, even if he reckless, he might just rip Degale's shoulder out again, man. So, like I said, Degale didn't look good last time. Right now, I'm a slightly favorite Chris Eubanks Jr. just off the physical, man. But I linked the source to the description. You know, so the source, you know, the article from the UK Mirror Sports in the description, let you know I'm not pulling this out my ass. I'm just calling it a rumor for right now. But like I said, man, this is a good domestic fight for the UK. You know, if Eubanks Jr. gonna be fighting in Vegas, you know, I think he should be trying to get some domestic United States fights. But I understand the money and the popularities in the UK right now. If he could blow up there, then he come over here and blow up. But, you know, at the end of the day, Prince Nassim said, I beg him to just retire. You know, because at the end of the day, he fought reckless. He fought a street brawlers type of fight, Eubanks. He fought like a street brawler versus James Degale. You can't do that, man. Versus George Groves. You can't do that. But it's rumored. And like I told you, the Billy Joe Saunders fight was off because they both was out pricing themselves between James Degale. I guess they no longer negotiating, but it's the Boxing Clinic and more. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Links in the description. If you want to donate, the PayPal link is there. Shout out to everybody that does donate to the PayPal and the Super Chats when I go live. I want to go live again a little bit later on as well. But if you went to college basketball or football, you know, I have a new college sports channel with the Cali Enigma Classical Sports TV. It's a joint venture. We already dropped a little bit of heat on there. The link's in the description as well as this source from the Mirror Sports from the UK article about Degale and Chris Eubanks Jr.'s rumors as well, and rumor fight to be. And don't forget to subscribe, please. Hit the bell icon so you know we upload and go live, and share the videos, man. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, send it to your mom and daddy, whoever. Share. I definitely appreciate everybody. Y'all know what it is. Your boy Goodfella, one time for the one time TBC, and more. We go.